I like how we start to get into, Lex Luthor, some ulterior motives. We get to see a little darkness.
What are you talking about? Why are you saying this? I don't understand. What darkness are we talking about? What did he do? I don't see what he did in this episode to warrant this. What ulterior motives? The blackmail? Are we talking about the blackmail? Let's actually take a close look at this, of what actually happened here with this blackmailing. He goes to Dr. Hamilton, right? He finds out Dr. Hamilton is one of the only people who doesn't blame the Luthors for all the weirdness going on in Smallville. Hamilton shares Lex's theory and Chloe's theory that the meteor rocks are actually the cause of this. So he first goes to Hamilton and offers to fund his research. Sounds like an excellent matchup to me of a patron to a researcher. They both would be passionate about it, and he's got the money. Hamilton turns him down. Lex does a little digging, finds out the dude has a criminal record. Throws that back on the table and says, hey man, take the offer. I'm gonna fund your research, you're gonna work for me. We're gonna figure out this meteor rock thing together. What's the alternative to this, okay? This guy, Hamilton, who, by the way, I don't know if anybody ever saw the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series that came out, would have been the same time as this show. I think it's the early 2000s. That version of TMNT, Baxter Stockman in that, all I can see when I see Dr. Hamilton is Baxter Stockman. And man, that guy is a chaotic character, okay? Like, he's dangerous. You don't know what he's gonna do. I think they're what you call chaotic neutral. I don't know. He's on his own team. He's doing his own thing, man. He's rogue. So Lex sees this guy, recognizes that he's on the right track with the meteor rocks and he's a good scientist. And he uses the power he has, just like Clark uses his powers to strong arm the bad guys into doing what he wants them to do. Lex does the same thing, but his powers are money, influence, and connections. He convinces this guy to do what he wants. You work for me. And in doing so, now he's got a little bit of control over this guy. He can monitor him a little bit instead of having him go rogue. And by the way, we find out later in the series, we do not want Hamilton going rogue, okay? That guy does not have the same kind of moral code that Lex has. I would rather Lex be overseeing what Hamilton is doing than have that guy going rogue, or left for somebody else to go find and fund, his research instead. Somebody with less of a moral code than Lex has. So no, I don't think that counts as darkness. I think that's Lex using his gifts for the good of humanity. I also want to point out, Lex has 3 solid reasons for wanting to get this guy working for him. All 3 of which, let me rephrase that. Any one of which make his actions understandable. The first one has to do with all of Smallville. Everybody in Smallville has been suffering for years from weird, bizarre, scary, dangerous after effects from this meteor shower. Lex included, okay? There's a lot of suffering that has resulted from this. That makes it very understandable that Lex would want to figure out what the heck is going on and really understand it. Secondly, the Luthors were scapegoated for all of this suffering, okay? So there's all these bad things that are happening as a result of the meteor shower. The Luthors, and even Lex personally, even though he was a child when it started, are personally being scapegoated for all this. That's a second reason that makes it understandable that he would want to get to the bottom of this. And that he would push hard to get to the bottom of this. And the third reason is in this very episode at the beginning of it, Lex himself finds out he's got some kind of a health issue that doesn't make sense and he doesn't understand it. We already know Lex is the kind of person that wants to understand what's going on. It's not enough for him to just be like, meteor magic, moving on. He knows there are causes and there are effects, and he wants to get to the bottom of what's causing this. He's a rational person. So if it was the blackmail that you're saying this is the darkness and ulterior motives, I feel like, boom, defended.
Again, I know you're going to say it's weird that Lex shows up like at the high school. He's hanging out with the kids. But also they said 12 years ago all this happened. So Lex
not as weird as Lana having a birthday party at your house.
Yeah, what was that reason about?
Did they explain
Where'd that come from?
I missed it. Did
they explain it?
I don't think so.
Guys, go back and watch my movie on it was the one with Bug Boy. I think it's in that one. Nell is an old family friend of the Luthors. We already covered this. She probably set this party up with Lionel anyways. Lex probably had almost nothing to do with it. It's made clear in the episode that by the time the party occurs, it really has almost nothing to do with Lana. It's Nell's thing. And she's holding it at the mansion. Nell has stayed over at Lionel's house before, remember? She stayed over in Metropolis. You think that was the only time that happened? They got connections to the Luthors, okay? Nell does anyways. Nell has connections to the Luthors. But it was obviously not really Lana's thing. Lex recognized, he acknowledged in the episode that it's not really Lana's thing. He knows it's not. He knows this is Nell's thing, and it's probably just Nell and Lionel basically setting this up. I don't know, is Lionel living there right now? Okay, so if it's about the party at the mansion, boom, defended. Is it because he was visiting the high school and he went to read the torch? They said in this episode, Chloe's dad works for him, okay? And Chloe's dad has been going on and on. He said this in the episode. Lex said this. Her dad has been going on and on about his daughter and about how his daughter works for this paper and runs this paper, The Torch. So Lex looks it up online to see what this employee just keeps going on and on about, okay? Her dad probably even mentioned something about her theory regarding the meteor rocks. Lex looks it up, and sure enough, Chloe is one of the only people in Smallville who doesn't blame the Luthors for what's going on in their town. You think it's weird, then, that Lex takes an interest and wants to go talk to her? You guys remember that scene in the first Men in Black movie where Agent K, Jay is still pretty new, and Agent K is showing him like how to look for information, how to find more information on what's going on, because they've got their own bug boy loose. And he shows him the hot sheets, which is effectively he just takes him to go through the tabloids, and he's explaining how actually the tabloids have a lot of really good information. He says it's the best investigative reporting there is, right?
Let me check the hot sheets.
These are the hot sheets. Best investigative reporting on the planet. Go ahead, read the New York Times if you want to. They get lucky sometimes. Thanks, Manny.
Cannot believe you're looking for tips in the supermarket tabloids.
Not looking for. Found.
Same energy here. Lex is recognizing that Chloe is an excellent investigative reporter. High schooler notwithstanding.
He throws a
picture
rock.
Lex
He throws
and, Lex is like in the bushes looking through binoculars.
Way to
He's
go.
like, Clark,
Way to
this
go,
is what you
Clark.
did? Clark, come on.
Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? So they're talking about that last scene in the episode with where the drive-in, Clark has this drive-up theater set up for Lana for her birthday. And Welling starts out and he says, oh, I could just picture it's like Lex is watching from the bushes, like, and then Rosenbaum and Welling both finish that sentence in completely different ways. Rosenbaum finishes it as though Lex would say, way to go, man. Like, good job, Clark. You got this. You nailed that date. And Welling finishes it with, dude, come on, really? This is what you did? Like, wow, that was lame. This is all you could come up with? Guys, Lex is the one who set this up, okay? Lex set it up. Remember how, like, for 3/4 of this episode, Clark has been completely floundering and has no idea what to get Lana. And then at some point, after interacting with Lex, he ends up telling his mother, oh, no problem, or she asks about, do you have a gift for Lana yet? And he says, yeah, Lex helped me out.
By the way, did you figure out what to get Lana?
Yeah, Lex helped me out.
So he sits down with Lana, right, and asks her, did you ever have a happy birthday? And then she describes this memory she has of a happy birthday and what it entailed. And then he kind of recreates that. This is not in the episode, but what do you want to bet Lex told him to ask her that? See, Clark lacks initiative, okay? Like, he doesn't know, he wants things to just, like, happen by magic, you know? Like, just, things just fall into place without any effort. But Lex recognizes that things happen because you cause them to happen. We see this even with the things like the Porsche accident. Like, Clark just wants to be like, dude, why can't you just say, I survived the Porsche accident and just let it go? It was by magic and fate and whatever, and then just move on. And Lex is like, no, I didn't just survive. Something happened that caused me to survive. I want to know why I survived the Porsche accident. So in this situation with Lana, I feel like it actually makes more sense to me to think Lex is the one that instructed Clark. Look, if you want to make this work, here's what you do. You ask her, get her to explain to you when she had a happy birthday. Get her to tell you some memory or something that happened in the past that she remembered that she really enjoyed, okay? That'll give you an idea of what to do for her in the future. But again, that one, I admit, that's me reading into it. That's subtext. I admit that one point is subtext. That Lex helped them set up the drive-in, that's not subtext. That's right there in the actual text.
Yeah, Lex helped me out. Yeah, Lex helped me out.
Oh, and by the way, the whole Lex is watching them from the bushes, I think you're projecting Clark's character a little bit there, Welling. Because the one that we know sits in the bushes and watches people while they're on a date with somebody else is Clark Kent. In fact, he does it in this episode. Earlier in this episode, we see Clark, yet again, with his little telescope, watching Whitney and Lana having their intimate, moments together. Lex doesn't sit in the bushes and spy on people. Clark does. So yeah, I guess I'm just not seeing the darkness. I feel like I see Lex in this episode being smart, using his abilities for good. I see he's able to pay attention to, again, like multiple trains of thought at the same time. I see him helping people in small ways, like helping Lana to have a special birthday and helping Clark, get some courage and initiative and going out with her, while simultaneously using his gifts to investigate big things, like why Smallville keeps producing serial killers and maybe we can do something about it. Yeah, man, my channel's way overdue. All you Luthor haters out there and all you people who are like, oh, I defend Lex because he's not as awful as you think. Luthor's advocate has arrived. Prepare to be cross-examined.